Welcome to the July Grillaways. This month, we're actually going to be giving away a Blackstone. So a lot of people have these in their backyards. This is actually a portable on-the-go version. What's really unique about this is it also has a hood. It's 22 inches. It's a nice tabletop griddle. It came shipped to us just like this in the box. We're going to go ahead and open it up, set it up, and see how it grills some steaks. All right. Let's go ahead and see what's inside of here. Actually, way thinner in terms of packaging that we've seen in other grills here. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of all this padding. That way it'll be a little bit easier for me to slide this grill out. This particular kit also came with a couple things. Looks like it came with some gloves, a wipe, and then some griddle seasoning and cast iron conditioner just to kind of keep things fresh. We'll definitely give this a try later on. And some really nice black gloves that you can wear. These probably are heat protecting, and we'll probably give those a try as well. Interesting to see exactly how much we have to do. Again, some more styrofoam, keeping everything together. This looks to be like all of our parts. We'll go ahead and get that together. All right, let's go ahead and open up, see what kind of goodies they have for us inside the box. All right, inside it looks like we have some legs that we're gonna go ahead and have to assemble. We have the attachment for our propane tank. Looks like it's given us a really neat little drip pan that has an insert inside of it, which is really cool actually. So we're actually gonna see exactly how that goes. It looks like it's gonna go right in the back for all of our drippings. And then we have the handle assembly here as well. That's actually a really nice handle. This handle's super nice and thick. Matter of fact, this is without even putting it on. This is probably the best handle that we've actually seen on a grill in terms of just the coolness of it and just kind of bouncing these orange colors off of the black design. The parts, this is all that we have. So we got a base, we got the griddle top with hood. I'm so happy that this hood assembly came attached to it. It looks like we actually have directions here right on the front on how to connect everything together. So we're gonna go ahead and take a few moments, put everything together, put the legs on, put the burner on, and get this grill set up for cooking. So the first thing that we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna throw these legs on here. And each of these legs slide right underneath. They have these little wing nuts, or these little nuts. There's no spacers, no lock washers or anything. And we're gonna just very lightly tighten that up. Putting these on seem really easy. This bottom unit's really light. It's very nice. We're gonna try not to scratch ours since we film on a concrete table and spin these off. This is a much nicer leg. You know, putting on the legs, I actually don't mind very often. Some of the other ones that we've done in the past have been very difficult. This one's very straightforward, easy to put on. I actually really like these rubber legs. I'm actually very interested to see how well they hold up, just because we have a lot of heat, you know, and so putting a rubber right next to heat always amazes me, but these legs look like they're designed for a lot of heat. Once we got our legs on, you can see that we're elevated up on the table. There's actually a little note here that basically says that we need to lock the griddle top and put it in place using these holes. So there's 4 holes on each side. It also says to remove this label. So we're gonna go ahead and peel this label off. We're gonna go ahead and set it aside. And we're gonna pick up our top. And we're gonna put it in place. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get our handle right here on the top. So this one actually came a little bit bent. So, you know, I'm not too happy with the fact that this little piece actually came bent inside of there. Not something that I would probably have liked. A lot of people will return things for something just this small. Because we're doing a grill review, I'm not gonna care, but if this was gonna be a show piece that I really cared about, I would actually probably order a new piece, contact them, and have them get this back over to me. So a few tightens there, and wow. I actually really like the way that this top, it does seem to rub. You know, the top itself is actually a little bit flimsy. Everything else on here seems to be so sturdy, but when we're looking at it, it's a little bit flimsy, a lot more flimsier than I would have hoped or expected. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this sticker off. Make sure you always pull these stickers off so they don't get superheated and become impossible to get off of your grill later on. But the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put this drip pan on and then hook it up to propane. If we turn the grill around, we're gonna see here that we have a drip pan, and that slides right there and stays in place. So this is actually really nice. And I love having this foil liner inside of here. This foil liner will save you so much time cleaning. So you can just kind of dump everything out into this piece here, and it's nice and big and super easy to clean and get out of the way. All right, so let's go ahead and hook our propane. So this is actually gonna look pretty easy. We're just gonna tighten that on and slowly bring it together. And we're gonna bring that right there. So this stem is gonna come on and off depending on if you transport this or move it out of the way. You're always gonna wanna take this on and off. I do definitely don't recommend over tightening it. So in this case here, what you can do is you pull and it's gonna loosen it up. Do the same thing here and then give it a little bit of tighten with this arm right now. So here we go. We have a full setup. We are ready. So let's go ahead and fire this grill up and see how it cooks. All right, so we got our Blackstone all set up, and a couple of the things that I just kind of want to point out that that I kind of recognized. One, this lid, I kind of talked in the beginning how much I love the handle. I love the handle, but the hood is actually a little bit flimsy. It catches. I'm not sure if it's just because this is tight. The griddle itself is not a straight line. They're a little bit bowed out. These burners, they're going great. They call this basically a 2-burner griddle. So you can set each side at a different heat. We have this side off, and I'm gonna go ahead and cook. Let's get that side on right there. Okay, I love these knobs. Some of these knobs are thick, they're hardy. They're not like a lot of the little teeny knobs that you have. So I love the orange on it. Aesthetically, this grill is just a really good looking grill to have when you're kind of sitting out. Today, we're gonna go ahead and cook 2 different types of steaks. We're gonna do a 10-ounce tenderloin filet mignon, and both of these are USDA choice meat. The second one we're gonna do is a 22-ounce bone-in ribeye, and just see how well this grill does on that. So we got our grill warmed up. It is really, really piping hot. We've got our 10-ounce filet mignon. We've got it all dusted, ready to go. So let's put it on here and see if we can hear that sizzle. Oh yeah. This is one of the ways that I really like to cook a steak. When I'm at home, I love cooking at the cast iron. It's typically how I cook all my steaks, and so that's why, you know, cooking on the griddle and having this not only as something that you can use for cooking steak, but also cook all your vegetables, your hamburgers, and all your other add-ons. It's just a great addition to cooking outdoors. A lot of people are going to this griddle style. I really do like the portableness of this. And let's see how well it does on searing the side of this steak. So when I sear a steak, especially in a cast iron, I actually keep my hoods open, right? So the first thing we want to do is we want to focus on searing all of our sides, locking in the juices in our steak, and getting a really nice crust on each side there. All right, so we've had this steak searing for about 4 minutes on this side. I'm going to go ahead and just check it out and see how it looks. And you know what? It's looking really good. So we're gonna go ahead and flip that over, get that second side started. You can already see like there's a really nice hard crust on several sections of this. Almost looks a little bit dry, you know, it's definitely absorbing it. When you're first using these grills, there's a lot of soaking in of these griddles, the seasoning that's usually required to get it kind of up and going. Right now, we did put extra olive oil on our steaks. I personally like to use a nice virgin olive oil, gives a high temperature burn. And what we'll probably do here is we'll probably go ahead and add some butter and kind of just add some extra flavor. We might even throw some onions on this cook and just see how it turns out altogether. Let's go ahead and flip this. We've already done both sides. What I also like to do is get those sides really good and seared here. What I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna add just a little bit of butter. So we'll go ahead and put a little bit of butter in here, and we're gonna baste this steak on both sides, just kind of give it a couple little bit of flips. Kind of get some of that flavor in there. Sear the bottom side. Now we have this griddle on max heat to sear these steaks, and I can tell that it's doing a great job. Definitely heating it up. There are some portions that I would probably like to see maybe get a little bit hotter. You know, you're not going to get those flames touching this like we would on a regular grill, where we do have access to, like if you're doing a charcoal burner. That's one of the great things about the charcoal and dusted, is that we can actually get some of that charcoal taste in the steak without actually having charcoal. So it's really good for a gas propane grill like this one. We can really see, man, that meat is actually looking really good. I really like, you know, the griddle's hot. You can definitely tell that it's hot. I was actually expecting a little bit more splatter. You know, when I'm at home cooking with my cast iron, typically I got a lot of splatter. I can see it everywhere. Surprisingly, this is actually not splattering too much. So I actually really do enjoy that. I do like that. My original plan was to go ahead and put the hood down on this and let this steak heat up. But I'm worried that it's just too thin and that we cooked each of the sides for a handful, 3-4 minutes. And I'm gonna actually pull this steak off and let it rest with a little bit of tin foil instead of keeping the heat inside of the griddle itself. Again, not a huge fan of how that works there. All right, look at that gorgeous steak. Let's go ahead and turn this off. I'm just gonna go ahead and get some of this off and kind of see some of our grill marks. Kind of scrape this. One of the things we talked about with this really nice back, and kind of just dump all of our pieces right in here. And that actually cleaned up really nice. Got a lot of that smoke that we were seeing there. Now that I've cleaned it off, we're seeing very little smoke from this griddle. Really happy with just the level, even on high. This griddle did a great job not producing a lot of extra smoke. When we threw the butter on, we had a little bit of smoke, but nothing compared to what I've seen in other cast irons or other things. I do think it's because of the heat. I don't think this gets as hot as, let's say, my cast iron can at home when I crank that on high. I had this going as high as it would go, and I think it did a great job, but I think it could probably get a lot hotter if you're trying to cook sear a steak really hot and fast. All right, now let's go ahead and see how good this steak is. Let's go ahead and give it a cut. Oh wow, it slid right through. And in this case here, it's definitely undercooked. And in this case here, you know, last time we did this, we overcooked a little bit. Here we can see that we just didn't get the kind of full bake that we probably wanted to. I probably could put the lid back down on the Blackstone and see if we could kind of just heat this steak up a little bit more. I mean, the steak is super hot to the touch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and throw it back on the griddle, sear these two sides, and let it sit for about another minute, and let's see what happens. We cut into this filet, and it's very apparent that the inside is just not cooked through. So there's a couple things that we could do. In this case here, I like to treat it as just two smaller steaks, and we're gonna go ahead and sear the two edges. I'm gonna go ahead and lay them flat. We're gonna go ahead and close the lid this time and see if we can't use it in acting like an oven to go ahead and heat these steaks up and see if we can't cook it all the way through. So let's go ahead and set these back on their sides, and we're gonna go ahead and close this. We're gonna do it for about 45 seconds, and then we're gonna pull it back off and put it back under the tin foil. All right, let's go ahead and pull these steaks off. So we started with one beautiful 10-ounce steak, and now we have two beautiful 5-ounce steaks. We've let them sit underneath here. We're gonna go ahead and put each of these, take them off, and we're gonna go ahead and cover them again with that same tin foil that we used, and see if we can't let these rest for a few minutes and get them to that perfect center. And again, I'll tell you what, very little smoke on this griddle. You know, we did the smokeless last month. All right, so this extra temperature that we had and everything just definitely made it coming in, and we're definitely like if we were actually on the grill. You could see that I'm pulling it out a little bit earlier, and it produced way more smoke than this griddle has for us on this cook today. We've let these steaks rest for about 2.5 minutes. Let's go ahead and get another cut and see how well we did. The moisture in these steaks is just incredible inside of here. Let's go ahead and select this one here, and we're gonna go ahead and just slice right through that. That's perfect. And you know what? It's just a little, one, we're cooked straight through. It's really good. It's a little bit overcooked. One of the sous chefs in our place said that they thought we should keep it on for 30 more seconds, and I listened. But I'll tell you what, we're gonna do the ultimate test, which is the taste test. So let's start cut off a couple little pieces here. Typically, I actually like my steak a little bit more on the medium side. The steak is perfectly seasoned. It's delicious. The crust is not as good as I really would have liked. And in cast iron, we're able to get a really good crust. On the griddle here, I just think that the lower temperatures compared to the high temperatures just don't give it the same opportunity to get heat and get seared as quickly as it does there. But overall, the steak tastes amazing. It's cooked near perfect. And I think it did a great job on this 10-ounce tenderloin filet mignon. Thank you for watching this month's Grillaways. This is our review on the Blackstone 22-inch tabletop grill. Please make sure you visit our website at orderatdusted.com or grillaways.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. You'll be in the running to win this. We'll also have second and third place prizes where we'll give away some grill kits and some seasoning. We just really want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, spread the word, get some steak, cook it up, have a great weekend, and enjoy this July.